Kia ora whānau, it's Tomo here, aka the Māori that bikes, and welcome back to the channel. This weekend I find myself back in ROTORUA doing the Winter Forest Festival. In this particular event, I'm actually going to be riding on an e-bike. I've been graciously loaned the HUSKY Mountain Cross 6 2021. I'll link all the information about the bike down below so you can check it out. Suffice to say, it does perform really well. I mean, I got a few clips and whatnot on a few trails. So when I left the Airbnb early on around about 9:30, I pretty much just chucked it straight into boost and rode all the way through into the park itself. Did around about, I think, maybe longer than that, 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, I actually eventually ended up running the battery completely dry. He's got nothing, man. I didn't have any issues. I mean, if anything, I was the issue on top of the bike, you know. But if I had it more set up for myself, I imagine that that particular or those rides would be obviously a bit better. I've never actually ridden an e-bike in anger in an event before, and I figured, hey, why not? It's about time. All jokes aside about e-bikes and whether you have your own personal opinions, I just want to do it just to see what it's going to be like. 30Ks isn't going to go too bad, I think. My danger will be just going too hard, too fast out the gate, and I'm just going to pop and explode. A lot of people say that it's cheating or whatever, and I totally disagree. I'm of the mindset, if you go as hard as you do, you will get a good workout, and like that's the danger, thinking, oh, okay, it's easy, and then you start ramping things up and it gets a lot harder. But there's a challenge in itself, is for me to ride a bike that I'm not familiar with in an event and see how well I do, or not, as the case may be. It's only 30 kilometers, so I reckon I should be fine. But anyway, we'll see what the day brings, and yeah, catch you up. Well, good morning, whānau. It's the day of the event. Bike's fully charged, man, got all my gears, looking sorted. Currently sitting in the way start area with the rest of the gun e-bikers here on the 30. Should be quite tough spinning it up.
Your rider briefing is the same as the long course. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have an epic time out there.
Well, I'm going to provide a bit of a little background commentary to how the day went. It was a fantastic event overall. Don't get me wrong, it started off a little bit cold and wet, so the conditions on the day in the morning were a little bit chilly, and the conditions were a little bit sloppy and slippy in areas, but for the most part it was pretty good. Right from the get-go, however, man, the pace was on like dudes was just boosting out the gate, and it was everything I had to do just to try and keep up. Straight away I was just chucked the Husky into turbo, and I pretty much left it there for the entire time. I just could not believe just how much pace was involved with actually going so hard on the e-bike, and like I said near the start, you can be fooled and think it's easy, and then you just get caught out. Once we got onto the grade 2 Tangaroa Mihi, it was all on. We're just weaving through. It was really exhilarating. It's so much fun to go that fast, and normally I wouldn't be able to go that fast anyway on my regular bike. But yeah, because of all that speed, you just want to go faster and faster and faster. We eventually get out onto Tiki Tapu Road, and from there we're able to sort of shake ourselves out a little bit. Mostly for our circuit, we're looking at grade 2, grade 3 trails, quite a bit of fire roads, so it meant that there was plenty of room to maneuver and overtake, and just sort of slip on through in the gaps as you want to do. I had a mate here by the name of Shane. I want to call him a mate because he was the guy who actually looked after me out on course, man, when I had my big fall, and you'll see that coming up later on. But as we started to hook around, we got onto Toda. From there, we're kind of like just all single file. I felt I was actually doing quite well on this particular trail, mostly because the start of it was uphill, and I feel quite, pretty confident and strong going uphill for the most part. But I'll tell you what, man, I was working my ass off. It was so hard. Yeah, and I had all the horrible noises going on, and the wheezing, and the losing of the breath, and the getting of the tired legs. But hey, that's to be expected when you're just in race mode, right?
Holy hell.
After leaving Toto, we then moved on to Yellow Brick Road return. Pretty easy to actually boost along this that particular trail. You know, it's relatively flat, not a lot of uphill pinch climbs. You know, very easy to get up to a whole heap of ridiculous amount of speed without meaning to. And this was kind of a sign of things to come. You know, eventually all that additional speed kind of got me in a little bit of trouble. As you'll see here, once I got onto Old Chevy, things didn't quite work out the way I planned.
Right, Old Chevy.
You okay?
Alright, pro tip. If someone is winded, okay, and you ask them, hey man, are you okay? There's a good chance that they're not okay and they probably can't reply.
Yeah.
It sucked, man, and I just ate it big time on that particular 4-lay. I'd sound like I'm actually giving birth or trying to do the Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, it was not funny at the time, but listening back on it now, oh, it was tragic. Hey, I seriously do not wish this upon anybody. But after that particular 4, it took me like a good 2-3 minutes to get myself together, get back on the bike, and then start hunting down that pack that actually took off. I also want to give a big shout out to the bro Shane. Now, he was the guy that actually stopped to check up to make sure that I was all right. Thank you very much, bro. You are a GC through and through, because it's good to actually, you know, if someone's had an incident, it's good to check up, see if they're all right. And thankfully, I wasn't, you know, in such a state that I needed medical attention at that point in time, but I'm glad he stopped and checked on me. So thanks, bro. Pretty much after my fall, I had to play catch up. I have no idea where I was in terms of positioning at this point in time. I think maybe something like 6th or 7th, I'm not too sure. I wasn't actually worried about that at this stage. I was just more or less concerned about getting through and getting it all done. I'm still working hard. I'm still busting my ass trying to catch up to these guys, you know. I'm also bleeding. Would you believe? You might have seen back on the crash, I actually had a whole heap of blood just all over the bike itself. I didn't notice it at the time, but I did notice it when I was riding along, saying, hey, where's all this blood coming from? I think I had a marshal say to me, are you all right? And I said, yeah, man, got no time to stop. We're after people. And yeah, so as I was coming through Be Rude Not To and onto the link, we're just firing out towards the tickler. And it was just all on. I finally did manage to catch up the group, which was great. So there's another guy here you would have seen, his name was Hayden, I think it was, and also Shane. So we're sort of like jockeying for position at this point in time, and we're about halfway done. I'm chasing Shane up along Pipeline Road as we're heading towards Apu Moana, and then we start hooking up Apu Moana, going along Sidewinder.
I forgot to ask what's your name, cuz?
Hey, what's yours?
Tomo.
Tomo.
Yeah, bro.
Kia ora, Tomo.
Kia ora, bro. The man who looked after me, or at least checked up on me. What a GC.
And then we're going up towards, I think it's Direct Road and up frontal lobotomy. And by that stage, man, my quads were just like going, yo, you're just gonna not make it. But no, I did. It was not a problem, but man, it was so tough. It was awesome, mate. It was such a cracker. As we're getting near to the end of the actual 30 kilometer itself, we had to bomb down EVS. I didn't get any footage of that because it actually started to rain and spit. The conditions were starting to get a little bit more treacherous by that stage as well. Finally, heading along Windy Road back from where we transitioned near the start.
All the way to the end.
All the runners and walkers are out at this stage, so you know it was a little bit just, you know, calling out loud and clear, hey, we're coming through. Very slippy through this section on feeder.
Woo! Let's go, Winter Forest Festival.
And then finally breaking out into the open, heading towards the event finish. I think it's Hayden. He was in front of me, the guy up in front of me. And yeah, well, I was just sort of urging him on to go quicker and quicker. Don't know why, since we're, you know, there's a good chance we could have had another fall, but thankfully it didn't happen. But pretty happy with the overall outcome of the day. You know, I think in the end, even despite the crash, I finished 4th overall for the 30-kilometer circuit, which was awesome. I consider that a monumental achievement on my part. By that stage, you know, I was just like, I'm done. I got my medal, was so thankful to be finished, and the day was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But I did have to take a trip into the medical tent not long after.
I have no idea where I came, but I'll tell you where I did fall. On my face. I think it was somewhere along old Chevy. Old Chevy. My dude laying his healing hands upon the Māori that bikes. Because it was the Māori that fell. And that is the Winter Forest Festival done for the 30-kilometer distance. What I mean as day. Right there. All patched up. Time to go home. It's the rain starting to come in now, and man, what a day. Mountain biking was the winner on the day. I'll catch you up, whānau. Chur. Big shout outs going to my man Mike from Trail Tune for the loaning of the Husqvarna. Sorry that I had a fall on it, bro. To Isaac of Peak Safety for looking after me in the tent. Shane once again for the help on the trail. And finally to Tim Farmer and the crew behind the scenes for making such an awesome event. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you up in my next video.